Most people die from the organ they never think about. And it's not your heart, brain, or lungs. Here's something that'll make you question everything you thought you knew about getting older. Your body isn't aging like a well-coordinated team. It's more like a chaotic orchestra where some musicians are racing ahead while others lag behind. Scientists have discovered that our organs don't follow the same aging schedule. While your skin might be showing those laugh lines, your heart could be humming along like it's 20 years younger. Meanwhile, your liver might be throwing in the towel way ahead of schedule. It's wild when you think about it. This isn't just some random biological quirk either. Researchers studying thousands of people found that organ aging happens at completely different speeds within the same person. Your kidneys might age gracefully while your immune system decides to sprint toward old age. Makes sense, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. Most people walk around feeling pretty decent while one of their organs is quietly falling apart inside. You could be crushing it at the gym, eating your vegetables, sleeping 8 hours a night, and still have an organ that's aging faster than a banana left in the sun. The weird part is how this messes with our whole understanding of health. We're used to thinking that if we feel good, we must be doing fine. That's not always true. Your body can be excellent at hiding problems until they're too big to ignore. Take someone who feels fantastic at 70. They're hiking, playing with grandkids, maybe even dating again after being widowed. Everything seems perfect on the surface. But deep inside, one organ might be deteriorating at breakneck speed, setting them up for serious trouble down the road. Then there's the opposite scenario. Someone might feel tired and achy, convinced they're falling apart, when actually most of their organs are aging beautifully. They just happen to have joint problems, or maybe their energy levels took a hit from poor sleep habits. Well, this discovery has turned medical thinking upside down. Doctors used to focus mainly on how old you are according to your birth certificate. Now they're realizing that your actual age might be the least important number in the room. The really mind-bending part? Some organs can be decades older or younger than others in the same body. A 60-year-old might have a 40-year-old heart pumping blood through 80-year-old arteries. It's like your body decided to age a la carte instead of following a set menu. This uneven aging explains why some people seem to coast into their 90s while others struggle in their 60s, even when they've lived similar lifestyles. The difference often comes down to which organs decided to age faster and which ones stayed young. And the troubling reality? Problems often creep up without any warning signs whatsoever. You might feel completely normal right up until the moment something goes seriously wrong. But scientists have figured out something remarkable about predicting who's most at risk. They've identified one particular organ that seems to hold the key to longevity after 65. You know what's really unsettling? Your brain might be plotting against you right now, and you'd never know it. While you're busy worrying about wrinkles or joint pain, your brain could be aging at breakneck speed, completely under the radar. Here's the thing most people don't realize: after age 65, your brain becomes the single best predictor of how much time you have left. Not your heart, not your lungs, your brain. And the sneaky part? It doesn't always send warning signals until it's way too late. Think about it. When someone has a heart attack, they usually get chest pain first. Bad knees? They hurt when you walk. But brain aging? That's the ultimate stealth operator. Your memory might seem perfectly fine while your brain cells are quietly checking out behind the scenes. Scientists recently discovered something that should make everyone sit up and pay attention. They found that people whose brains age faster than their actual years have a dramatically higher chance of dying within the next 15 years. We're talking about a real crystal ball situation here, except instead of magic, it's pure biology. But wait, it gets weirder. Some 80-year-olds have brains that look biologically 60. Others who are 60 have brains that already hit 75. Your brain age can be completely different from what your driver's license says, and that gap matters more than anyone expected. The research is pretty mind-blowing, honestly. People walking around with young brains consistently outlive those with aged brains, even when everything else seems equal. Even if their hearts are struggling or their joints are creaking, a youthful brain somehow keeps the whole system running longer. Then there's the flip side that'll really mess with your head. You could feel sharp as a tack, crushing crossword puzzles and remembering everyone's birthday while your brain tissue is actually aging rapidly. Memory problems often show up fashionably late to the party, sometimes years after the real damage starts. What makes this especially frustrating is how brain aging operates in the shadows. Your liver will make you feel sick when it's struggling. Your kidneys will definitely let you know when they're unhappy, But your brain, it's got this annoying habit of keeping quiet until significant changes have already happened. The really wild part is how this silent aging process affects everything else in your body. Scientists are finding that when your brain ages too fast, it somehow drags down other organs with it. Makes sense when you think about it. Your brain is basically mission control for everything else. And here's what should grab your attention: even small differences in brain age pack a serious punch. We're not talking about decades of difference here. Even a few years gap between your real age and your brain age can significantly change your odds. The million-dollar question becomes obvious: how do scientists actually figure out if your brain is aging too fast or staying young? Well, that's where things get really interesting, and the answer involves some pretty clever detective work that's happening right in your bloodstream. Ever wonder how scientists can peek inside your body to see how fast your organs are aging? Well, they're not using crystal balls or magic tricks. They've cracked the code using something you already give at the doctor's office: your blood. Here's where things get fascinating. Your blood is basically a messaging system carrying tiny proteins that act like postcards from each organ. These proteins tell a story about what's happening inside. When your heart is stressed, it sends out specific proteins. Your brain does the same thing. So does your liver, kidneys, and every other organ. Scientists figured out they could read these protein messages like a biological diary. By measuring thousands of these proteins in a single blood sample, they can calculate how old each organ really is compared to your birth certificate age. It's like having a conversation with your organs without opening you up. The breakthrough came from machine learning, basically teaching computers to spot patterns humans would miss. These AI systems analyze blood samples from thousands of people, learning to recognize the protein fingerprints of young organs versus old ones. Makes sense, right? But here's the wild part. Your biological age and your actual age can be shockingly different. You might be 50 years old with a 35-year-old heart and a 65-year-old brain. Or maybe you're 70 with the kidneys of a 45-year-old but muscles aging like you're 80. Each organ marches to its own aging drumbeat. This isn't some futuristic fantasy either. The technology works right now, even in people who feel perfectly healthy. That's actually when it's most valuable, catching problems before they announce themselves with symptoms. Let's not forget how precise this has become. Scientists can spot if your organs are aging just a few years faster than normal, and that small difference matters tremendously. We're talking about detecting biological changes that are completely invisible from the outside. Then there's the biological age gap, the difference between how old your organs should be versus how old they actually are. Think of it as the margin between your body's warranty period and its actual wear and tear. Some people have organs running behind schedule, staying younger longer. Others are dealing with organs that seem to be in a hurry to age. The machine learning algorithms keep getting smarter too. They're finding connections between protein patterns that even surprise the researchers. Your blood doesn't lie about what's happening inside, and now we can finally understand its language. What makes this even more remarkable is how it works across the board. Whether you're a marathon runner or spend most days on the couch, whether you eat kale salads or pizza for breakfast, your blood tells the real story about how your organs are holding up. This ability to measure hidden organ aging has opened up entirely new questions about health and longevity. Because when scientists started looking at which organs age fastest and cause the most problems, they discovered something that changed everything we thought we knew about staying healthy as we get older. Here's the scary truth about having an older brain. It doesn't just affect your memory, it affects whether you'll be alive in 15 years. When scientists looked at people whose brains aged faster than their actual age, the results were shocking. Those with brains just 3 years older than expected had a 40% higher chance of dying within the next decade and a half. That's not a small bump in risk. That's almost like flipping a coin on whether you'll make it to see your grandkids graduate. But wait, it gets worse. The Alzheimer's connection is absolutely brutal. People walking around with aged brains, even if they feel completely normal, face more than 3 times the risk of developing dementia later. 3 times. And here's the kicker. Most of these people have 0 symptoms when their blood reveals this hidden brain aging. Your thinking skills start slipping long before you notice. Memory problems don't announce themselves with a grand entrance. Instead, they sneak up like a cat burglar, stealing little pieces of your sharpness while you're busy living your life. Scientists found that every extra year of brain aging translates to measurable drops in problem-solving abilities, word recall, and that quick mental processing we take for granted. The really unsettling part, even small differences matter enormously. We're not talking about brains that are decades older. Just a few years of extra aging can dramatically shift your odds. A brain that's 5 years older than your birth certificate doesn't sound like much, but it's enough to put you in a completely different risk category for everything from stroke to cognitive decline. And here's what makes this particularly cruel. You feel fine. Your aged brain isn't sending you warning signals like a bad knee or a sore back would. You're going about your day, making plans, feeling healthy, while this silent countdown ticks away inside your skull. The brain doesn't hurt when it ages too fast. It just quietly increases your chances of serious problems down the road. Then there's the domino effect nobody talks about. An aging brain doesn't just affect your thinking, it starts influencing how well your entire body functions. Your brain controls everything from your balance to your immune responses, so when it ages faster than it should, other systems start struggling too. Heart problems become more likely. Your body's ability to fight off infections weakens. Even your sleep patterns get disrupted. The most disturbing finding, this brain aging effect stays strong even after accounting for everything else doctors typically worry about. High blood pressure, diabetes, smoking history, none of that explains away the brain age risk. It stands alone as a powerful predictor of who lives longer and who doesn't. What makes someone's brain age faster than their body in the first place, though? That's where things get really interesting, because the answer isn't what most people expect. When scientists discovered that aging organs don't work in isolation, everything changed. Your brain isn't just sitting there getting older by itself, it's having constant conversations with every other part of your body. And when one organ starts aging too fast, it's like a troublemaker at a dinner party who ruins everyone else's good time. The research gets wild here. People with rapidly aging brains don't just face memory problems down the road. They develop heart disease at much higher rates, their immune systems start failing faster, even their muscles weaken more quickly than they should. It's as if one cranky organ sends out a memo telling all the others to give up early. But here's where it gets really interesting. The brain seems to be the ultimate troublemaker. Studies tracking thousands of people found something shocking. When your brain ages faster than your actual age, your risk of developing completely unrelated diseases skyrockets. We're talking about liver problems, kidney issues, even bone density loss. Makes sense, right? The brain controls everything, so when it starts slipping, the whole system feels it. Then there's the immune system connection. Researchers followed people for over a decade and discovered that accelerated immune aging creates a domino effect throughout the body. Your immune system ages fast, and suddenly your brain starts having inflammation problems. Your heart struggles more. Your digestive system gets cranky. It's like watching a perfectly tuned orchestra slowly fall apart when the conductor starts missing beats. The numbers tell an incredible story. People with one fast-aging organ are 3 times more likely to develop new diseases in completely different parts of their body within just 5 years. 3 times? That's not a coincidence. That's your organs gossiping about each other in ways we're just beginning to understand. Well, scientists think they know why this happens. When one organ ages rapidly, it releases inflammatory proteins into your bloodstream. These proteins travel everywhere, like tiny messengers carrying bad news. They tell other organs that times are tough and maybe they should start aging faster too. Your liver gets the message from your aging brain and thinks, if the boss is struggling, maybe I should slow down too. And the weird part is how specific these connections can be. Fast brain aging particularly loves to mess with your cardiovascular system. Researchers found that people whose brains age 5 years faster than normal have double the risk of heart attacks and strokes, not because their hearts are necessarily old, but because the brain-heart communication highway gets jammed up with inflammatory traffic. The liver-brain connection reveals another surprise. When people develop fatty liver disease, their brain aging often accelerates within 2 years. The liver stops filtering toxins efficiently, and the brain pays the price. Meanwhile, muscle aging connects directly to brain health. Lose muscle mass too quickly, and cognitive decline often follows close behind. But understanding these organ conversations opens up fascinating possibilities for intervention. If aging organs really do influence each other this dramatically, then protecting one might save several others. Which raises an obvious question: what keeps some organs, especially brains aging slowly while others speed ahead. Here's the million-dollar question. Why do some 80-year-olds have brains that look 65, while others their age are dealing with memory problems and confusion? The answer isn't just luck. It's a fascinating mix of genetics, choices, and some surprising habits that most people completely ignore. Your DNA plays a huge role, but not in the way you'd expect. Certain genetic variations can slow down brain aging by years. People with these lucky genes produce proteins that protect brain cells from damage. But here's the kicker: having good genes is only half the story. Even people with average genetics can keep their brains remarkably young through specific lifestyle choices. Mental stimulation works like a gym membership for your brain. Learning new skills, solving puzzles, reading challenging books, or even picking up a musical instrument creates new neural pathways. The brain literally rewires itself to stay sharp. People who constantly challenge their minds show brain scans that look decades younger than their actual age. It's not about being naturally smart, it's about staying mentally active. Sleep turns out to be absolutely critical, though most people treat it like an optional luxury. During deep sleep, your brain clears out toxic proteins that cause aging and dementia. People who consistently get quality sleep have brains that age 30% slower than poor sleepers. The brain basically takes out the trash while you're unconscious, and skipping sleep means the garbage piles up. Then there's physical exercise, which might be the most powerful brain aging fighter we know about. Regular cardio increases blood flow to the brain and triggers the production of growth factors that keep brain cells healthy. People who exercise regularly show brain volume that's significantly larger than sedentary folks their age. Walking just 30 minutes a day can keep your brain years younger. Social connections matter more than scientists initially realized. People with strong friendships and family relationships have brains that age much slower. Loneliness actually triggers inflammation that accelerates brain aging. Having meaningful conversations, maintaining relationships, and staying socially engaged creates a protective effect that's measurable in blood tests. Stress management plays a sneaky but vital role too. Chronic stress floods the brain with cortisol, which damages memory centers over time. People who practice meditation, yoga, or other stress reduction techniques show remarkably younger brain ages. Even simple breathing exercises can slow brain aging if done consistently. Diet influences brain aging in ways that surprise even researchers. Foods rich in omega-3 fatty acids, antioxidants, and anti-inflammatory compounds keep brain cells healthy. The Mediterranean diet has been shown to slow brain aging by several years. Avoiding processed foods and excess sugar also makes a measurable difference. The most interesting cases involve people with extremely youthful brains, individuals whose brain age is 15 to 20 years younger than their chronological age. These superagers have up to 70% lower risk of developing Alzheimer's disease. They typically combine multiple protective factors: regular exercise, lifelong learning, strong social ties, good sleep, and stress management. But knowing what keeps brains young is only valuable if you can measure whether your own brain is aging too fast. The ability to detect silent brain aging before symptoms appear could change everything about how we approach brain health and longevity. The bad news? Your organs might be aging faster than you think. The good news? We're finally getting ahead of the problem. Here's what's revolutionary about this whole discovery. For the first time in human history, doctors can peek inside your body and spot trouble decades before you feel sick. Those blood tests measuring organ age aren't just cool science experiments, they're early warning systems that could save your life. Take Sarah, a 58-year-old teacher who felt perfectly fine. Her regular checkup showed normal cholesterol, good blood pressure, the works. But her new organ age test revealed something shocking. Her brain was aging like a 70-year-old's. No symptoms, no memory problems. Just silent, accelerated aging happening behind the scenes. 6 months later, she started forgetting student names. Within 2 years, early signs of cognitive decline appeared. The test had spotted the problem 15 years before anyone would have noticed. That's the game changer here. We're not waiting for your memory to slip or your thinking to slow down anymore. The blood tells the story first. But wait, it gets even better. Scientists are discovering that catching this early aging isn't just about knowing bad news sooner. They're learning how to actually do something about it. Some research suggests that when you know your organ age, you can take specific steps to slow it down or even reverse it. Think about it this way. If your car's engine was wearing out faster than expected, wouldn't you want to know before it breaks down on the highway? Your brain deserves the same heads up. Then there's the personal health plan angle that's got doctors excited. Instead of giving everyone the same generic advice about staying healthy, they can now tailor recommendations based on which organs need the most help. Fast-aging brain, here's your specific protocol. Liver showing signs of accelerated wear, different game plan entirely. The weirdest part? Some people are walking around with organs that test younger than their actual age. These folks become living laboratories for understanding what keeps our insides young. Researchers are studying their blood, their habits, their genes, hunting for clues we can all use. Makes sense, right? If some 70-year-olds have 50-year-old brains, we need to figure out their secrets. Early detection is just the beginning, though. The real excitement comes from what scientists call biological age reversal. Fancy term for something simple, making your organs younger again. Some studies hint that targeted interventions, specific exercises, certain nutrients, even particular medications might actually reset an organ's biological clock. We're talking about potentially adding not just years to your life, but good years. Quality time where your brain stays sharp and your body keeps up. Well, here's where it gets personal. All this cutting-edge science means nothing unless you know how to use it. The research is pointing towards specific actions that anyone can take starting today to give their brain and their life a real advantage. Your brain doesn't have to surrender without a fight. And the best part? The weapons in this battle are surprisingly ordinary things you probably already know about, but might not be taking seriously enough. Exercise tops the list, but not for the reasons you might expect. Sure, it keeps your heart pumping and your muscles strong. The real magic happens upstairs. When you move your body, your brain gets flooded with fresh blood carrying oxygen and nutrients. Even better, exercise triggers the release of proteins that literally help grow new brain cells. Think of it as fertilizer for your mind. Here's what researchers found fascinating. People who walked just 30 minutes a day showed brain scans that looked years younger than couch potatoes the same age. The brain's memory center actually grew larger. Walking, that's it. No fancy gym membership required. Food becomes your brain's construction material, and some building blocks work better than others. The Mediterranean diet keeps popping up in studies about brain aging. Olive oil, fish, nuts, colorful vegetables, these aren't just good for your waistline. They fight inflammation that ages your brain faster than time itself. But here's the weird part about brain food. Sugar and processed junk don't just make you feel sluggish. They actually speed up brain aging at the cellular level. Your brain runs on sugar, yes, but the wrong kinds turn it into a rusty engine. Then there's the use it or lose it principle that sounds like something your grandmother would say. Turns out grandma was onto something scientific. Learning new skills forces your brain to build fresh connections. Whether you're picking up Spanish, mastering chess, or finally figuring out that smartphone, mental challenges keep your brain flexible and young. Social connections matter more than most people realize. Loneliness doesn't just feel bad. It accelerates brain aging. People with strong relationships show slower cognitive decline and reduced dementia risk. Your brain literally stays younger when you stay connected to others. Sleep deserves its own spotlight here. During deep sleep, your brain performs maintenance work that can't happen while you're awake. It clears out toxic proteins linked to Alzheimer's and consolidates memories. Skimp on sleep, and you're basically skipping brain maintenance. Stress management isn't just feel-good advice, it's brain preservation. Chronic stress floods your system with hormones that damage brain cells over time. Meditation, deep breathing, even regular hobbies that help you unwind can slow this damage considerably. Let's not forget that science is racing toward breakthrough treatments. Researchers are testing everything from special drugs that target aging cells to innovative therapies that might actually reverse organ aging. Some experimental treatments show promise for turning back the biological clock on organs. The future might bring pills that keep our brains young or treatments that reset organ age entirely. But you don't have to wait for tomorrow's miracles when today's simple strategies already work. Your organs are aging right now, some faster than others, but you're not powerless. The choices you make today determine whether your brain and your life get those extra good years ahead.